Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the market. We're going to look at the weekly, the daily, and the intraday charts. So let's get started here on the weekly chart. We can see, let me spread this out a little bit here. This is the beginning of the new week right there. Range so far about 71. After three big down weeks, we started this week as green so far. You can see the SMI is still pointing down. MACD's rolled over. So what do I think? Yeah, we could get a bounce here a week, 2 weeks, whatever's going to happen here. But this is not over. This ain't over. And this may come down some more, do a little bouncy bounce. But so I just think whatever bounce we get here is going to be temporary. Okay, there's the June 16th cycle low, which could happen late May, maybe even extend out past. You never know. It could even come out into July, which would be unlikely, but it could happen. Or late June or something. So we'll keep an eye on this. But I don't think this is finished yet. I think this is just temporary, what we're looking at here. Though this bounce could take us all the way back up to 51.69. That's possible. You could get a bounce way up into here. When we look at the daily, I'll talk about what I think some of the resistance points are and why I think where they're at. Okay, let's switch over to the daily. All right, so here on the daily chart, whoop, I got the wrong kind of marker here. Let's get the pencil. On the daily chart, we can see today, it's hard to tell, but this is the candlestick right there. And the reason why it's got this kind of pinky purple looking thing going on is because, believe it or not, the Giddus Plus indicator is sitting right here. I just don't have it turned on. We could turn it on. Let's turn it on. We're going to see the Giddus Plus indicator sitting right smack dab right there, just starting. All right. So what do you know? The Giddus Plus indicator believes there might be a trade on the daily. Okay, which is probably a bounce, right? All right. Let me just turn it off for now because it's not that big of a deal on the daily chart. Daily chart's kind of easy to read. We use the Giddus Plus indicator mostly for intraday charts, but it does work on the other time frames as well. All right, so here we are. I got a bounce day of 71 almost. And we can see the SMI has kind of bottomed out here, starting to roll over. We can see the MACD still pointing down. But it's pretty far down there. This got as low as what, 83 or something? 81. So looking at that number right there. Got down to 82 almost. Yeah. Start to see numbers that low, that negative, the market usually runs out of gas. And it did the next day. Right, one more day it traded, kind of bounced up to 79, and then we get this green day. The MACD on the daily is now gone negative. What do you think of that? Both the slow line and the fast line have gone negative. Well, we haven't seen that in a long time. So it's official. On the daily chart, we are in negative momentum, and you need to keep that in mind. Because I know a lot of people are very bullish after all this massive run-up, and that's great. We may get bullish again over here somewhere. Okay, whatever. All right. But for now, momentum on the daily chart is negative. Okay, it's below the zero line. You have to remember that as you're trading. So even though we may get some bounce here, you have to remember that this pullback, all of it, even the bouncy part, is still within negative momentum. It's kind of like a bounce inside a bear trend that's inside a bull market. I know it's a mouthful, but you always have to have context, right? And it's important to understand where we're at. Okay, so anyways, what do I think about price? Well, I can tell you what I think about price. I think price is going to stall right here at the top of these 2 wicks. Do I think it's going to hold it? No. But this puts us at about, let me erase some of all the gook. Talking about right here, approximately, as the first resistance. And that's at 51.20. This one's 51.23. Take your pick. Call it 51.20 to be safe. Okay, that's your first resistance, is 51.20. The next resistance is going to be is the 50-day moving average. You can just look up right here. Right now it's at 51, call it 55. Okay, so your two numbers for the immediate future are 5120. Now this is the June contracts, not the SPX. Okay, so you're gonna have to just grab it. If you're trading SPX or the Spider, just grab the price between the two and do the difference. And then you can track it. And what you're gonna notice is as this moves, the Spider, the SPX will move it almost identical. Might be off by a few points, but it'll be pretty close. That gap will be maintained, okay? And then the 50-day moving average is 51.55. Remember, these numbers specifically are the June contracts, so don't forget to do your differences for Spider and SPX if you're trading those products. Okay, so that's it. I trade mostly the futures, so these are my numbers. 51.20, 51.55 would be my resistance areas, okay? So some people may ask, well, why wouldn't it naturally stop where you had these numbers on the way down? Because that's support. Okay, support is the bottoms. Bottoms come here. Bottom, bottom, bottom. They're the bottom of candlesticks. Resistance will always be the top of candlesticks. In this case, this resistance at 52.67 was, how do I explain? This one's a little bit trickier. But these were a bunch of tops. Okay, these were a bunch of tops. They got pulled. Really, there wasn't much to go on up here, but there was this candlestick, this one, and this one. These three candlesticks made up that line. They were the bottoms of these candlesticks, more or less. The body's the body, and the body on that one. And what do you know? I tracked on that. I mean, it kept tapping up against that 52.67 for look how many days it tapped up against this. It came up, it smacked it, smacked it, smacked it, smacked it, smacked it. So it was kind of one of those lines that it was double duty line, but so that one's a little bit odd. Okay. But those are the two numbers immediately. And then going this way, so I'll have to kind of look at this because this gets a little tricky. More than likely, the candlesticks in this area will act as your resistance and not the ones back over here. Okay. They could come into play, which there's some stuff. See all this stuff right here? They're all tacking at the top. And then again, of course, this could come into play too. So there's a little something right there, but the other big one would be 52.67. That for sure would be major resistance. You can just see it. I mean, it's huge. Okay. But if you really want all the numbers, in my opinion, what they are, like we could do this one more time. 51.20. Let's put them on here one more time. 51.20. Whoops. 51.55. These are resistance now, going up. Now, since we're at 50.49, the market pulled back a little bit here. You know, the top of that candlestick right there does come into play. This one is 50.95. But I'm not going to put it on there. If this market gets rolling, I don't think that's going to be an issue. 51.55, then the top of this one, which is 52.13. So that's a pretty good jump right there, that one. Okay. And then above that comes to that one. This one was both resistance and support, so that'd be 52.67. So there's your numbers. That's going this way, right? As we go up. All right. Those are just numbers you want to keep an eye on. Not that the market will necessarily just stop there, okay? But they're good numbers to keep an eye on. I mean, look at this 50.12. I mean, the market came down. You can see how it gravitated here, right? Sure, it had this lower wick and the body got down, but basically 50.12 or 5,000 was support, sorry. So the market ran out of gas right there. And I got pulled from way back over there. Okay. So those are the numbers. Those will be the numbers I'll be looking at. And to me, with the way as I'm trading, it's not a big deal. I just watch the candlesticks from, I don't have to write these numbers down. I might, but I just look back and say, okay, I know this area is, I'm going to be watching the candlesticks in this area. And let's say I take a long position. Then, I mean, like immediately, like let's just say I go long tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm going to do that because I have to check what the market does overnight. But let's say the first thing I do is look at the top of this candlestick, 50.95. That is my immediate first resistance, the top of the next candlestick. Because I trade the intraday charts and overnight charts and all that. So I'm going to be paying attention to that number, 50.95. It's simple. And I'm going to be trying to take advantage of the market up to that. Make sense? And if it breaks above that, then I know the next ones are these candlesticks. If it breaks above that, the next one's this candlestick. That's how you got to do it. It's very iterative. You just stay right on top of it. Okay. For you options traders, I know you want to know exact numbers and everything and all that. Okay, great. I gave you some numbers. You're the ones got to figure out and take your chances and figure out where you're going to do it and all that stuff. Okay. All right, let's move on to intraday charts. Well, I didn't save off and take a screenshot of my profits today. We're about it was $228, I think. I did it this morning pre-market. I didn't really get a chance to trade the rest of the day. Obviously, it was a big day. But, I made $228, so I just didn't save it and show it today. But that's were my profits for the day. So I only really just did, I think, 3 little trades. I was kind of mixing in 1 or 2 scalps with another trade that lasted. Well, all the trades were very quick. They all were very quick. I think I made $100 last night, maybe, if I remember right. Yeah, I made $100 last night, and then I made an extra $128 this morning somewhere. And that was it. And I was just busy doing other stuff. Okay, so some people may ask, well, why didn't you trade this big old up, the big old swing up today? I could have. First of all, I was a little busy doing some other stuff. But second, I may not have traded it at all because I'm waiting for a market behavioral change, right? I want to see that it sticks, right? I don't mind giving up a day or half a day of a big move like that for me to really get a strong confidence that the market's making a change, at least here temporarily and bouncing, right? It's better to be a little bit late than too early. All right, you don't want to be too late either. All right, let's move on to the intraday charts. Anyway, one more thing I want to say about this daily chart. I think this bounce will last like probably, it might even come out to like the very beginning of May. Just going to throw it out there, okay? I'm not really 100% sure. There's some things going on right now that are very tricky. And I'm going to talk to the members about that tonight. For those that want to know about my opinion about tomorrow, you really should become a member because there's some stuff that's you probably want to know. Okay, but I'm not going to mention that to the public. Okay, but generally, just speaking to the public, historically speaking, the way things would work, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen this time because there's some things in the air here that are a little bit interesting that could trick a lot of people. This little pop we're getting here, I don't want to say too much right now. That's all I'm going to say for right now. But historically speaking, the way this normally would work is probably at least a bounce to the middle of this green cycle. This green cycle's a little weak. It's not super reliable. So let's go with the yellow cycle, which has been way more reliable. That puts us right about May 1st. Now, the middle of cycles are also tricky. Okay. This is a pretty, how short is this cycle? Let me just look at the length of the cycle. It's 13 bars, so it's kind of tight. It's pretty tight right now. This is a very tight cycle, this little yellow cycle here. Okay, and this green cycle was good sometimes, and other times not so good. But over here, they come together May 8th through whatever that is, May 11th maybe. Yeah, May 9th. Let's see if the screen one's still May 8th. Sometimes things move around a little. Yeah, May 8th and May 9th, okay. So that's what this is. So sometimes what you'll get is a little bounce down into the middle of the cycle, another bounce, and then down again, or really high up. So this little cycle is so small, though, it's kind of hard to put all that dynamic into such a small cycle. So none of that may happen. There's a lot of things that could happen here. It could bounce hard, it could chop, it could trick everybody. But I'm going to go with historically what I think normally would happen is probably at least to the middle of this yellow cycle, which is about May 1st, we're going to see a bounce. May 1st, May 2nd. And then it might start running out of gas. It may even run a little late. That puts us out into like the 3rd to 4th or the 5th. Okay. And then maybe from like the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, somewhere in that area, it starts to run out of gas hard and comes back down. So we'll have to pay attention to that to see if it actually does that. Does it just blast through this May 8th little cycle though that's here and says, I'm not interested in that? And there might be there's probably a big cycle in here. I'm just don't have it in here. But it could just run like, this thing could just run for a while like way over here. Okay? And get really strong up to 52.67, then run out of gas. And now, and then as we get into late May, middle May, late May, okay, finally gets it back up and really pulls back down somewhere down here, down into definitely into the 49s, maybe even into the 4800s. Okay, so it might do that. There's a lot of dynamics right in this area that are really kind of hard to put your finger on. But members, you want to pay attention to tonight's email because there's a kind of a doozer. There's a kind of a doozy thrown into the middle of all this that I want to just briefly mention in the email. So make sure you get your emails tonight. Okay. So that's my take on the daily chart, and you already gave my takes on where I think the resistance points are. Let's look at the intraday chart, see what the trades of the day were. All right, so here we are on the 15-minute chart, and well, it's pretty easy to pick out where the trade of the day is. It's right here. I mean, it doesn't get any plainer than that. Look at this Giddus Plus indicator, guys and gals. My goodness, at 10 a.m., it was absolutely money. Look at that thing. You wait for the green candlestick to come in, maybe even a second green candlestick. That's fine. You've got your Giddus Plus indicator telling you, hey, you're good to go. I would be a little cautious in here. Okay, just wait for it to give you this whole candlestick, and then I'm in on this one, and I'm gone. Look at that. To the moon. 50-point day right there. One E-mini contract is $2,500. Two would be $5,000. One is $2,500. One micro contract would be $250. Two would be $500. Yeah, I talk about this all the time. So it just goes to show you, medium to large retail accounts could have made a lot of money today. Small, really small retail accounts, you still could have made a couple $100 just on one E-mini contract, which is like $1,400 in margin. If you got $2,000 sitting in your account, you can probably trade this. You would just be trading the MES, okay, instead of the ES, and you could have made $250 today. And the Giddus Plus indicator told you, ding, check, you're in. Is it always that simple? No. Over here, overnight was a little trickier, but it still ran up. Here, you got one right smack dab in the middle. What the heck is that thing doing? If you just traded like instantly on that to go short, you would have, you might have just broke even. So you got to wait for the SMI to tell you that's done. And it wasn't done till way over here, and then it started to come down. See that? Right. If you become a member, in the members video for new members, I talk about how the Giddus Plus indicator is timing. It's supposed to be equal sign. And the SMI is direction, along with the MACD's direction. Okay, you want to watch that video when you become a new member, right? Really good video. All right, I think that's it. The trade day was super simple. I'm getting ready for the market to open. I think the market's going to bounce on the open here. I might take a little position, do a little scalpy scalp. For those who stick around to the end of the video, if you want to become a member, do that. For the rest of you, well, all the best. All right, so you want to become a member, that's great. There is a discord.com link in the description just below this video on YouTube. Make sure you read those instructions very carefully. Once you've done that, click on the discord.com link. It's going to bring you over to this server, get a server, then click on server shop. It's going to bring you to this page right here. $7.99, guys and gals. Super good deal. If you've been watching my videos at all, I don't know what you've been waiting for to become a member. I got members. I think I had a member. Was it last week? I think last week or the week before made well over $10,000, shared that with me. I've had members make, geez, I don't know, a few $1,000s in a day. I think 2 weeks ago, I made $8,000 in one day. And then throughout last week, I was making pretty good money, well over $1,000 a day for most of the days. Some members are of course, have smaller retail accounts, and they're making a lot less money. They're working full-time jobs, and they're just trading when they can. That's fine. And of course, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to make money, become a member, but I think the chances of you making money are very good if you're patient. Okay. $7.99 is a steal. It's just, you should be able to make this money back, and the membership should pay for itself pretty easily. The streaming charts that we looked at today, like the 15-minute chart, there's also a 5-minute chart and a 1-hour chart. They're down here. So when you join, just click on this down here and you'll get the streaming charts. They stream 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, those are the futures. So the S&P 500 is always trading. It's always trading, basically 23 hours a day. So I just keep the charts up Monday through Friday, okay? The only time they're closed is like for 1 hour from 4 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Central time here in the U.S. After that, they're back open for another 23 hours. So that's why we stream the charts, because they're always trading. Okay, so some people don't know that. They just think the SPX is the S&P 500, and it is, but they don't realize there's actually trading going on overnight, and that drives the SPX. The SPX is really driven by futures, in case you didn't know. So that's the streaming charts for the S&P 500. You might want to click on that and check it out when you join if you want to watch intraday charts, okay? And then also I'm streaming gold. I have 1 or 2 traders. They trade gold almost every day. And I know they're making money. Every day they're trading gold. I don't ask them any questions about their account size or how much money they're making. Occasionally they'll share that, hey, this was a great week. So I've got 1 or 2 members that trade gold, and I think one member told me last week, well, they shared in the public channel actually, that it was a great week for them. They traded gold the whole week and they were making money. So they're just locked into gold. They're using the streaming charts and they're making money. They may be trading the miners. They may be straight up trading the futures. Whatever they're doing doesn't matter. They're taking advantage of the streaming charts for gold and they're making money. Gold is a very dynamic product. It has big movements. So if you can handle big movements with your account, which usually means keeping your position kind of small, unless you have a really, really big account, you can handle big swings. Some traders can. But, regardless, there's money to be made is what my point is. So there's S&P 500 streaming charts and there's gold streaming charts. And people are members. The membership is slowly growing, which is great, but members are taking advantage of it. So you should too. So when you join, just ask me, hey, Geddes, you can ask me in the member chat, where is the link for the gold stream? And I'll give it to you. Also, if you're a new member, you want to know, there's a new members video. Just ask me, hey, Geddes, where is the new members video? And I'll give you that too, okay? It's a really good video. Both of those, the S&P 500 and gold, both have alerts. They're right here. So whenever the Geddes Plus indicator thinks there's a trade, it'll send an alert to these channels. So you might want to right-click on these channels and just turn notifications on. All right. Every day I put premium symbols in the premium symbols channel. Really nice. Saw a lot of symbols in there today. Okay. There's futures in there. There's optional stocks in there. Today was a whole list of industries in there, sub-industries. Okay, and I think a few shorts are in there as well. The Geddes Only Post channel, this is where I put the link for the video I'm doing right now. So you can click on this channel and watch, the members can watch the video right inside this channel if they want to, or it could take you over to YouTube, whichever way is fine. Also, every night at some time during the night, after the markets close, usually in the summertime, it's a little bit later, I put in a notification that, hey, emails have gone out. So you might want to right click on this channel too and turn notifications on. Speaking of emails, drop your email. I don't look, when you join Discord, I don't automatically get your email from Discord. Okay, so I don't know what your emails are. I'm sure, some people think that's, hey, you got my email. No, I don't have it. It's not how it works. Discord doesn't hand out emails. Okay, so if you want to get on the nightly email, you got to drop your email address in this emails only channel. Okay, I'll pick it up and you'll get the nightly email. The nightly email consists of the daily chart of the S&P 500. It's got some nice cycles on there. It's got support and resistance on there. Really nice. I usually give a sentence or two of my opinion about the market for the next day. Okay, so if you want that, make sure you put your email address in there. Fixed income, occasionally I do trade corporate bonds because I might parlay some of my profits into fixed income because, hey, when I go to retire, I want to have just income coming in, right? So sometimes I'll trade corporate bonds. If I do, I'll do that in there. These two channels are just general chat. All right, so everything in this rectangle is the membership, $7.99. The public doesn't get access to any of these channels. Only paying members do. Okay, if you have a support issue, you can just put it in member chat to say, hey, get us. Usually it's almost always it's I'm not getting my email. Okay, and that's because Discord might do some stupid stuff and force people to change their handle, and it messes up the emails. Okay. Occasionally what'll happen is if you don't if you don't have like your membership on renewal, or for some reason the renewal lapses for like a few days or something, then your emails will automatically stop. Because the way my logic is set up is if you're not a paying member, the emails stop. Okay, so that makes sense, right? You got to pay for it. So that occasionally happens. People have a small lapse for a few days in their membership. Okay, and they don't get an email. Okay. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about is the rules. You've got to know the rules, because if you come on the server and you break the rules and then I get in your face about it and you're like, well, what's going on? Well, you didn't read the rules. All right. There's a disclaimer here that I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, I just give my opinion. Everything on this server is educational purposes only. I don't care if it's me chatting on here or anybody else chatting or what anybody else says or does on this server. It's strictly educational purposes only, okay? No financial advice is applied whatsoever. You are responsible for your own trades, guys and gals. You got to be. That's what it comes down to, okay? Yes, I believe the service will help you. Okay, I believe it'll help you. I think it'll help you point you in a good direction. You can become a very good trader if you're patient, okay? But ultimately, you're responsible for your own trades. I don't give advice, just opinion. All right. And also the video that I'm doing right now and all videos that I do are also strictly educational purposes only, and they're just strictly my opinion, all right? And here's also the be nice to everybody else rules. You just be respectful, okay? And don't post dirty language. I don't like foul language. Don't post any nasty links or nasty pictures or anything dirty, vulgar, foul. This is a conservative server, so occasionally conservative content may come up, especially around politics, right? But I try to avoid it, but sometimes it comes up, okay? But don't bring your leftist junk on this server is really what my point is. I don't want to hear it. If you do it, you're going to get confronted. Okay, so just be forewarned. You know what this environment is, right? Yes, you can join. I don't care what your party affiliation is, okay? Just, be careful about what you say. Right. If you're going to talk politics, guys and gals, please keep it in the member chat, because, earlier, like today, it got all clogged up in the S&P 500 channel. I understand people are going to talk about politics that affects the market. That's fine. But do it in the member chat. Okay, don't clog up the S&P 500 channel. That's annoying. Right. I've probably done it myself, so I'm just as much to blame. So let's keep it all in the member chat. Okay. Let's see what else. The refund rules are in here. You must know what the refund rules are. Okay. Basically, I don't give out refunds. Okay. The membership is so stinking cheap. I'm not going to prorate like $3 in a month or something because you were there for 2 weeks. Forget it. If you don't want the membership anymore, just quit and don't pay for the next month. There are no refunds. Okay. Don't ask. You're not going to get it. Okay. That's why I made it one of the reasons why I keep the price so cheap, because I have to deal with people. I paid $890 and I'm leaving part of the month. I want my $200 back, Okay. Well, I don't have to deal with that because the price is cheap, okay? So no refunds. All right, I think that pretty much covers it. I got to say all those things because you always get somebody that comes in and decides to be, egomaniac. So I got to set the record straight, okay? Guys and gals, it's been a money-making machine, the S&P 500 and the gold. It's been really good. I think it's continuing to be very profitable. Gold's going to go, might take a little break here in gold. The daily may be pulling back for a little bit, but I think eventually gold's going to pop up back up above 2,500. S&P 500 is probably going to bounce here a little bit, and then it's going to take a dive, big hard dive. Anyway, happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to all real soon again next time.